Baz, I've got you a present. Merry Christmas.
Oh, well, look at that.
Merry Christmas.
I've got the beard. Just,
There's not enough grey in there though, mate.
No.
Too young. How do we look? We look all right. Look, Merry Christmas, everybody.
It's rare I don't wear a hat anyway, so I need to put something on my head.
Got to keep your head warm, ain't you? I'm not saying that the baldness is going to make you cold, but
this time of year
you'd lose a lot of heat from your head. So we'll keep it warm. Right, in today's podcast, mate, we're going to help people stay fit and active, hopefully, throughout the Christmas period, because it's notoriously tough for people.
Yes.
And we're just going to kind of hopefully give them lots of tips and tricks to kind of, or just focus points so they can enjoy the festivities, not feel like they're going without anything, but not absolutely destroy the progress they've been making maybe over the last 11 months. Because I've seen some people just chuck it all away, and hopefully it's not doing that. So what would be your kind of tips and advice, or maybe kind of main focus points to help people stay fit through the festivities?
It's a real tough one, because I try and, I'm certainly not how can I put this? So it's really important to have downtime. So for example, it's that time of year where this now becomes very much like a family orientated time of year. So how can I put it? So you've got to incorporate sort of like a lot of joyful moments, like creating memories again with your family, and again enjoying the excesses to a minimum, I guess, as well. So not going too overboard, but at the same time not feeling guilty if you do. I mean, there's no way in a million years. I think on average most people over Christmas, if you're lucky, if you're in a job where you can have 2 weeks off, you'll probably have 2 weeks off from Christmas to New Year. How much damage can you do in 2 weeks? I'd argue not a great deal, to be honest with you. But at the same time, you don't want to completely ruin that fantastic momentum you've generated over the year. Maybe I had some results. You don't want to kind of like derail that too much, and you want to keep it fairly balanced. So try and do things. Try not to be guilty about anything that you do, but at the same time, maybe incorporate more activities that aren't centered around food and alcohol. Maybe get your family together, go for a lovely walk, that sort of thing. And try not to circle everything around excess.
I mean, I'm really glad you said that, because I had this feeling that I may have been Scrooge or the Grinch, because my approach is very about balance again, like you. But I find myself over the last few years, especially, where my style of coaching is very direct, and I'm like, Christmas period, if we stripped it down, it's not about smashing yourself full of alcohol, food, and all that BS that the industry that wants to make money off you does. And I'm like, do you have to do all of this? Why do you feel that you need to just gorge on all that food? And
where does that come from?
And going back to things that we've talked about in the past in other podcasts, where like legacy effect, I'll guarantee the people that kind of go, oh, go on, it's Christmas. Mid-Jan.
You only live once.
Mid-Jan, when they turn around, I won't ever say it, but I'll say it on the podcast. Deep down, when they kind of go, oh, I've put on so much weight over Christmas. I'm like, yeah, but it was Christmas, wasn't it? And you only live once. Who cares? But now that sentiment's not even there. So part of my approach would be kind of like, I want you to enjoy Christmas, but there's an after Christmas. And that is just as important, if not more important. Because I guarantee you getting carried away with the festivities and the jolliness. Merry Christmas. Eat as much fucking cake as you can. It's just so overrated.
I mean, I think to be fair, a lot of the people and I'm sure a lot of your members are the same. Having a break from the gym, I don't think people actually really want a break from the gym, to be honest with you. Even if they just come in once. In the 2 weeks that you would class classes like the holidays or whatever you call it, even if you just went in once 1 week, once on 1 week, once on the other week, that I think people would be quite happy with that. That's something, isn't it?
Maintain your consistency that you've been doing overall. It may be like the period of time where we're just going to drop it off, and it might be like planned kind of reset planned maintenance, or just, keep yourself ticking
yes.
over. I mean, I've had this conversation before, like when you work out after, how do you feel? Like you've had a workout, I feel really good. I have never had a workout where I've not ended it and kind of going, I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Now we're going into a holiday period where generally it's about feel good. Now, some people look at me going out going, you can enhance that feel good. And they go, well, how? And it's not by drinking excess alcohol. It's about getting up maybe a little bit early because you're off work anyway.
Yeah.
Coming to do one of the sessions. I'll guarantee you're going to feel really good. You're going to have like, I've already accomplished something. I've already got this feel good because of my exercise. And then I go into my festivities, already feeling really good. You're enhancing that Christmas feeling. Basically, I'm saying right now that if you want to feel extra Christmassy, go and exercise.
Yeah.
Keep your routine.
You're absolutely right.
You're going to feel fucking great.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go into the family dinner already feeling great.
Yeah. You can almost feel a bit arrogant about yourself as well. I've worked out today. Do you know what I mean? I've done something today. You're like, I'm better than you.
I'm having slightly more cheesecake.
Yeah.
Partly because I've just worked out. I'm not advocating that's a good plan, but I'm just saying it may give you that smugness, knowing that you know family members that haven't trained well all year.
Yeah.
They haven't been to work for the last week and a bit because they're on the Christmas holidays. They've been eating like shit.
Yeah.
And they're already going to eat like shit a little bit more. And they ain't even got a relevant excuse or a reason in place. And you have, because you've been keeping your routine and habit in place. You're not letting it fall because it happens to be Christmas or whatever. It might not even be Christmas, birthdays, holidays, happy Hanukkah.
I know.
Diwali. I don't know. Whatever,
with a sprinkling of smug. On top of that, please.
Whatever festivities or whatever you want to call it's in there, keep to your routine. That's how you enjoy it. That's how you enjoy it.
It is that, and again, it's you have to. It's making the most of those moments as well. So again, it's stripping it back to basics. Your motivation, your achievement, all this sort of thing. And again, stripping it all back, it does also come down to the mindfulness of it as well. So you're making the most of these gatherings. You're making the most of that time. You're creating memories, but at the same time, you're not completely letting go of the thing that you've been doing for the entire year that's made you feel fantastic and got you to that point as well. You're not completely neglecting that, but at the same time, it does take a little bit more of a backseat than normal, just so you can concentrate on other things that are also important in life.
Yeah. I mean, how important is just Christmas Day, the one-off event, versus the magnitude of days that you've been building up? Now, people are going to, again, call me Scrooge. They're writing right now in the comments going, Scrooge.
Scrooge, yeah.
Absolutely Scrooge. But the way I'd explain it, a one-off event, what does that matter to the habit of multiple events? So, again, I've used this analogy before. You have one workout, what changes? Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Versus, now this is where the consistency value goes in.
Yeah.
Now, some people are having 2, maybe 3 weeks of like nothing, and they're breaking their habit. Now, you already alluded to how much you're going to lose within 2 weeks over Christmas. Not that much. But I would pose the question, how much momentum, mindset, kind of the way you feel about where you are in 2 or 3 weeks, how much could you change that? I'm going to argue that you could radically disrupt that. Now, your fitness element, you're not going to lose that much. You're not going to gain that much weight.
No, percentage-wise, statistically, no. Not
but your mindset, where you feel you are, the damage you feel you may have done when you get to mid-Jan, could be catastrophic. And I think the way you can deal with that is the things that you've been practicing for months and months and months leading up to it is keep hold of a good percentage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing you want to try and stay clear of is the back on it Monday approach.
Yeah.
Everyone says back on it Monday. I don't know why it's always Monday.
I'll start in the new year.
Why not Tuesday? Why is it always Monday? But yeah. It's trying to stay clear of that. If you can maintain something very, very small over that period. And again, you're probably not going to be as motivated or train exactly the same as you have done all year. Some people will. the festivities will make no difference at all to some people. They train 3 times a week, they train 4 times a week, and they're going to fucking do it during that time, regardless.
They have one day where they've had a big Sunday dinner.
Yeah, that's it, and that's also okay. But at the same time, it's also okay to not quite do as much as you normally do, but you've done something. You're not back on it Monday crew. You're not that. You're just sort of taking a little bit of a back seat, but you're still doing something, and that's okay.
I've seen it with loads of people. I've worked with clients where they've gone into Christmas and they've not gone without anything, their words, including bits of alcohol, but they've gone in with a little bit of a plan of how they're going to kind of work their way through it. And then when they enter January, when it's game time, new year, new me, they've not stepped back at the lowest level. I've even got people through Christmas where they've had chocolate and Christmas dinner and still lost weight.
Yeah.
So they've achieved a deficit, and it's through healthy eating and sustaining habit. One thing I always suggest on, the main days, we'll talk about, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. What I want you to try and do is highlight the two or 3 bits where that there's going to be some level of indulgence. So let's just go Christmas dinner is the indulgence on Christmas Day. Because I'm going to have my dinner, and I'm going to have a nice pudding, maybe a nice few sherry, champagne, whatever you're drinking.
Yeah.
Okay. What I want you to try and do is for your breakfast and maybe your lunch, try and keep them the same, if not similar to what we normally do.
You normally have.
Whatever. Yeah. So I get up and I have my granola and yogurt. Grinch. I know, but hear me out. Hear me out.
You not pour a little Bucks Fizz on top of it or something, right?
Yeah. And then I'll go, and let's say I normally have, I don't know, a bit of a tuna salad. Scrooge!
Tuna? No, is that?
But, that's a poor example. But I'm just saying, let's say, just try and stick to something that you normally have. Yeah. And then when you get to the later evening or whatever time you have, you're not fucking starving. Yeah. Because you've not either been saving yourself, or you're having poor choices that are just fluctuating your blood sugar. You get to that Christmas dinner and you're absolutely starving. Now you're smashing it, going through chocolate and alcohol because you're really hungry. But if you just maintained a little bit of normality, you get to that dinner, I'll guarantee you'd have eaten it, you're not going to overindulge, and you'd have really enjoyed it, and you're not piling in excess stuff just because you've not been starving yourself, basically, at that point.
I agree. I mean, it comes back to the basics. Where did this come from? I want to know where the foundations of overindulgence of Christmas. Why does Christmas? Why is it representative of that? Why do you have? I want to know where that comes from, because I really don't know. I just thought it was something. It was a pagan holiday. So I don't get where at some point in modern civilization we've got to a point where we go, when it's Christmas, you stuff yourself.
The cynic in me knows.
Yeah, it's a commercial factor, isn't it? Or capitalist.
So let's see if you can guess this. Supermarkets, and if you're listening to this, you can research the hell out of it. What do supermarkets make most of their profit from?
Well, we know.
Alcohol, confectionery, convenience foods and brands. So if they want to actually make money, they need to sell you more of them things. When you get to Christmas, what is ramped up hard? Them 3 things.
Yeah.
Alcohol, abundance of it.
Have you ever been down a Christmas aisle?
It's crazy.
It's not full of protein bars and God knows what, is it?
No.
It's crisps. It's, like you say, alcohol. It's cake. It's everything that...
They make most of their profit from selling that produce. This is why when we go into supermarkets, they're not bothered about your health. They just want you to buy stuff that then makes them a profit.
Yeah, where's the
just like the shareholders. If you had shares in them, you'd be like, I want some money back on my shares because I've invested some of my money. So it's just the way it is. But part of it is being aware of it.
Well, I just didn't realize where was the starting point for that? Do you know, where did it actually come from? Where was that tradition? And why is it? Or has it just morphed into that? It never started off that way. It's just morphed that way.
Is it part of our society where we see it where, it's
the overindulgence and throwing away society?
It's not about, you could argue that it's not about looking rich or looking like you're, it's not about being it, it's about looking it.
Oh, I see.
So
again,
you know,
the
the
indulgence
affluence,
thing.
the indulgence.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
can afford to buy
you-
this amount of stuff.
you see this with parents going, look at what I've bought my kids. And they're then looking at the nose down at they think they're better at someone than they're looking down the nose at the parents that maybe haven't got as much money and can't do that. And there's this social status to, I'm better than you.
That's
And
an interesting point.
they've
It could
built
be that.
it. They've
Could be a
built it
social
up
status thing.
where the moment you overindulge, it's seen as maybe a status symbol in a weird sort
Regardless
of way.
of whether you have half that stuff or not.
Yeah.
I can afford to get it. And I've just always found it very interesting where did this come from?
Yeah, it's
because you kind of like it loses its purpose, doesn't it? Whatever that is now, I don't know.
I mean, that's what I've done seminars at the studio leading up to Christmas in the past. And one of the slides and one of the talking points I always get members to do is go, what do you actually want to get out the Christmas period? Now, don't answer me straight away. I don't want your gut feeling coming out. Stop. And for the next minute, think about what do you want from this Christmas period?
Yeah.
Once you've thought about it a bit, write 3 to 5 things down. And they'll write them down. And you could probably guess what they want. They want to spend good quality time with maybe the people that over the year they haven't really had much time with, the family, the friends and stuff.
Yeah.
They actually want to feel really good, really energized and enjoy it and all this. And then the next question is how? How do we do that?
How do we do that?
Or if you want to look at it another way, how do you not do that? What's things that you could do that then just throw that out the window?
Yeah.
And weirdly, they start saying things that we're suggesting. When you go spend quality time with your family, does that mean you have to drink copious amounts of alcohol?
Yeah, because ultimately you're going to feel shit at the end of it.
Yes.
So is that quality time? I don't know.
And I'm sure there's people out there that kind of going, I actually don't want to spend time with my family for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
We've had these conversations, and it's like, well, how are you approaching that? Because we want to get through Christmas. It's not all about fitness. It's about health, mindset, keeping you on a level. And that might be you go into that family meeting, family occasion, gathering, where you're controlling, again, the amount of alcohol, because you know that if you or them had more than, maybe it's going to turn into a shit show. So how about you put things in play where you set yourself up that it ain't a shit show?
Yeah.
But
it's
again,
hard.
It's hard at points.
You put those things in place and try. And again, it also comes down to the fact of not beating yourself up if it doesn't go totally to plan of what you've said. But the fact that you've even thought about it is actually quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
The fact you've even thought about, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and do this, try and do that, try and do that. It's only 2 weeks, and enjoy it and create nice memories. But again, it's that fine line, isn't it? Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
No.
You want to have a good time.
Yeah.
Downtime is so important. It's so important for your mental health to actually just switch off from everything and don't feel that element of guilt that we do all year round for other areas in our life.
That's a key word, guilt.
Yeah.
Because most people that go hard into it and just go, it's Christmas, sooner or later they're going to feel that guilt catch up.
Yeah.
And my approach would be control it so you don't have that guilty feeling.
Yeah.
I do not feel guilty one bit, right? I have Christmas Day exactly like every other person pretty much I know. And that means that I will have a bit of alcohol. I will be eating copious amounts of food. I will be having lots of cheesecake.
Yeah.
Right? I will overindulge, but the difference is I will still apply what I've talked about. I won't be, I'll still having my breakfast. I'll be still doing this. I'll be still training. I might go for a big walk. I'll be running either side of it. I'll be here doing sessions. I'll be keeping regularity to it. And at no point have I ever felt like I missed out on Christmas. At no point.
I know exactly what you mean. I'm exactly the same, to be honest with you. Yeah, just maintaining that element of what you normally do on a regular basis. Just maintaining an element of that. And again, even if it's just an element, it does make a big difference. Like you say, just that small thing of, well, I normally have that for breakfast. Why is that going to change?
Yeah.
Would you have mince pie and milk? What do you do? I don't know what you do for. Why would breakfast be any different to what you normally have? It's only really dinner, isn't it? Christmas dinner, New Year's Day dinner, Boxing Day. Sorry.
I've given this example to clients in the past when I've done workshops and stuff. Let's say I got Christmas Day. Is this too much of is this far-fetched for someone that's maybe letting go and doing what the fuck they wanted over Christmas Day. You wake up, you had a triple bacon sarnie, lots of red sauce, a nice strong coffee, and there was a tin of chocolate there. And you just had free chocolates. That was your breakfast. You then have a few bits more alcohol.
Yeah.
You then have your massive Sunday dinner, dessert with a bit more alcohol. You then get later on in the evening where maybe you had a cheese board, turkey baguette, crisps.
Fall asleep to any fools and horses.
Yeah. Fall asleep to any fools. Watch some reruns of.
Always the reruns.
It's the ones. What was it called where they're running through as Batman and Robin?
Yeah, I love that one.
That one.
Villains and Feet.
Or maybe you're watching The Snowman.
Yeah.
Chucking back to your childhood. But that was your nutrition.
Yeah.
And when you banked it up, that is easily, honestly, that could easily hit 6,000 calories.
Easy. Yeah.
Now, let's say I get up and I go, I'm an adult.
I've got this.
I've got this. I know I'm eating, I'm just going to say poorly, or a bit loosely. Not poorly, a bit more loosely later on. Yeah. So therefore, let me just have my granola and yogurt for my breakfast and my coffee. No chocolate. No chocolate now because I'm having chocolate later.
Yeah.
Just like a sensible adult would.
Yeah.
I then have my Christmas dinner as planned, my couple of, glasses of champagne as planned, my cheesecake as planned. I then get to later evening and I'm just going to apply a bit more mindfulness again.
Yeah.
Let me just make some different changes. Let me just have a bit more protein. Let me have a little less chocolate because I had my cheesecake, a double slicing. So
it is Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
But even if let me have another piece of that cheesecake then, right? I've had but I'm still being more mindful. I'll guarantee with me keeping a bit more regularity, having my Christmas dinner and all the trimmings around it, instead of around 6,000 calories, it was about 4.
Yeah.
Now, was that over? Yeah, but it's one day.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Exactly.
And I've been training as normal, building up to that, and in between Christmas and New Year. All of a sudden, I've controlled the damage. I've not gone without anything. I've consumed 4,000 calories, not 6,000 calories.
Yeah.
And I've not put an ounce of weight on simply because even though I overindulged in a controlled way, I've kept regularity. And if I ask most people, could you do that? Could you do what I've just said would be a plan? If you're saying no, you weren't training all year anyway because you got no fucking no motivational discipline to make positive change anyway.
I think if that is an average, that's still a good day, isn't it?
Still a good day.
Yeah, I mean that's great. How much more do you want, for God's sake? So
and all you've done is that your breakfast as normal.
Yeah.
Plan to overindulge on Christmas dinner and all the trimmings around it, and been a bit more mindful in the later evening of not like rein it in just a little bit. Still enjoy yourself. Still have, still have, a little bit more alcohol if you wanted it, but just adult yourself a little bit more because you've had a Christmas Eve, a Boxing Day, you've got a New Year's Eve and a New Year's Day coming up.
Yeah,
there is a really bad outcome.
Yeah,
potential there,
and again, it's not making too fine a point of it. Of also at the same time, if it doesn't go to plan, don't feel too guilty.
No,
you know what I mean. You've got the next year to plan ahead.
But that's
you've got to implement next year anyway. So
everything I've just said, let me go back on it. Right? Let's say, fuck that, Pete. I'm doing the bacon, the chocolate, all Christmas Day. I'm hitting 6,000 calories.
I'm eating for 10 people.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Part of me would go, fine. But leading up to that point and after that point, give me the regularity again.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it changes the whole volume again. Let's say I eat like shit for that day. A big part of me don't care because you've been eating well and training in the build-up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be doing it after. So even then, it's like...
Yeah, again, because if you haven't done what you've planned to do, at the same time, you don't want to feel shit about it.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's real kind of like simple thing, is it? You don't want to feel too bad about it. If you can, great, brilliant. You're going to have an easier start to the year. If you don't beat yourself up. Have a great time with your family. Relax, take the break.
But I'd try and emphasise the point you made of don't put it off till Monday. Don't put it off till the new year.
Yeah.
Like, it may not be perfect, but try and get a training session in or two and just do a tweak. That fucking horrible dead space that no one knows what to do. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to be open at certain points because I'm going to be wanting to train as well. It might not be as the frequency and the main timetable might not be there because of the amount of people that are choosing not to do it. But there'll be options to
giving
it.
people options is that's really important.
Yeah.
And again, I know I kind of pencil it in for myself, definitely. And again, even if you just turn up to one training session so you can mentally tell yourself, yeah, I think I've burnt most of that off. Do you know what I mean? Or just do something, or just maintain some kind of momentum that you've created,
or just create
on
that
a
balance.
mental state that would actually, it certainly would help.
For me, it's not even about necessarily burning it off. I've just balanced the equation ever so slightly. It's not
the
all
scales are there.
It's not all weighted to one. I'm just gonna say like one way of living.
Yeah.
Just overindulgence way of living. I'm just gonna balance that seesaw out a little bit.
Yep. And then at the same time as well, if you do have like a really bad, don't all of a sudden, that's it, forget it for the rest of the year. I'm not going to start again until January the 2nd. It's again, that's that all or nothing thing again.
Yeah, that goes back to our previous podcast on motivation, where we've gone all or nothing.
Yeah,
don't apply it. Growth mindset is going to just give you them small steps that we want. Because how many people have this is potential? They have Christmas Day where they're overindulged and they go, "Fuck it."
Yeah,
fuck it.
That's the all or nothing mentality.
And it's like, you've been doing so well, and to just throw it away for.
I know.
For what? And we already sat down and go, what do you want from Christmas? Like, what is actually? And when we talk about spending quality time, doing this, this, and this, and this, and you're just for something else, that indulgence, that spending lots of money, and showing everyone that you can afford to live lavishly and eat like a king. And for what?
You don't need to fill that void with food. That's for sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or alcohol, or
whatever it is. Yeah,
covering that hole.
Exactly that.
But, it's a tough one for people because there's that balance and that social pressure. Because I've already mentioned it several times. Most people are going to hear us talk and go, bunch of boring old bastards.
No, not at all.
Bunch of Grinches.
And I know for a fact I'm no angel. I mean, I'm saying all this now, and then on Christmas Day I'll be smashed. I won't. I'll phone you on Christmas Day.
Yeah, and I'm a bit merciful.
Podcast.
Yeah. Have you had your breakfast, Pete?
That's it. Yeah.
I had bacon. But I'm going to put a challenge out there right now to anyone listening. If you think that what we're saying is Scrooge-like and Grinch-like, I want you to listen to this again in the middle of January and see if you've changed your mind. So if you just listen to us and gone, bunch of boring old bastards, Grinches, Scrooges, put it in your diary now, put it in your phone diary to re-listen to this podcast again mid-Jan and see if you've changed your mind then about the overindulgence that you may or may not have done. That challenge out there. Comment below if that challenge is accepted. So we hope you enjoyed today's podcast to help you stay fit and accountable through the festivities and not throw away all your hard work, really. As always, make sure you press like, make sure you subscribe. And thanks to Baz for joining today. And for now, stay active, stay fair, and of course, Merry Christmas.